Yo, Dog Candy Boucher here, next level painting, hitting you up on the literal best of all days, coming to you with a Chaos Tactics battle report from Dicehammer GT. Real quick, let's break it down. We got Abaddon, 120 cultists that are going to be fearless and forward operating, with decimators benefiting from the full reroll of Abaddon's glory, Mortal Wound City, and of course a Knight Titan doing his thug thizzle. Now, if you guys want more on that list, check me out on Patreon. We do have a tactics tier. All right, game one versus NECRONS versus a great guy named Junior. This Necron army, first off, is beautifully painted. The mat we're playing on is glorious. This guy must have all the destroyers. He has 2 squads of 9 full up and tomb blades. My will be done, engaged. But guess what I want first? I got all that ambushing, all that forward operating up in his grill. I'm able to put mortal wound cannons on the right units at the right time. The Gatling cannons are able to ace some destroyers, and we got those tomb blades out with about 300 shots. Basically, I completely crippled his ability to take out full blocks of cultists every turn now. I was actually terrified of this firepower. Going first was a big part of my plan. That's why I came out so aggressive. If I was going to go second, my forward operating ambushing would have looked a lot more defensive. I wasn't about to give him up 100 cultists on turn 1. But in my opinion, going first, getting eyes on those 2 units and wiping them out is basically an auto win. And from this point on, it's just him killing cultists. I bring 40 cultists back to life with Titan Traders. Abaddon takes the center with more mortal wound cannons. The Knight just stomps out his last model. Junior, good sport, bad matchup. He goes on to win 3 games out of 5 though, so he does all right for himself. ELDAR game 2 versus my man Ray right here. This guy running the ELDAR Air Force. This guy, 5 flyers, couple of wave serpents, 20 block of guardians, couple of farseers hopping around, swooping hawks doing their thug thizzle. He gets set up back there. We're playing that spearhead deployment. It's not optimized for line of sight, but I'm going to do my best. I get the first turn again. Okay, I get out the ambush. Now what we're trying to do is we're just trying to touch as many units as we can, see if we can get lucky and take down a flyer. We did pick Big Game Hunter here and Recon as usual, so we're always going to get our Recon points. That's why you see us spread out the way we are. We actually took a flyer out with all of our firepower, and now he's just going to start moving around and figuring out what to do about this cultist problem. This is where he admits later in the game he made a mistake. He started really focusing down on those cultists right now, even though they really couldn't do much at this point in the game. They're just scoring. He ignored the decimators for 1 turn too long. He could have jumped every flyer out on that Knight and maybe even taken that out, but he was really focused on that Reaper. He almost takes out a squad. I had a few guys left. We used Tide of Traders. We came back to life. I used some clever casualty removal so he couldn't get all those cultists. So now all that firepower is meaningless, and that's where he realized that he completely wasted an entire turn. We still have the same amount of cultists we started with. The Knight is in his backfield. The decimators are going to get 1 more opportunity to lay down mortal wounds. Full rerolls. Even with the Altok buff, we're able to take out more stuff. The Knight's going to keep rampaging. The cultists are taking objectives. They're all basking in a 12-inch bubble of fearlessness from Abaddon. And now we don't have much more to do. Like, he's going to be able to take out these decimators. The Knight's not really doing much. It's hard for him to interact with that many elements. He's going to bring all of his swooping hawks in. He's going to just rush me down, try to finish off this last group of cultists. I'm going to be able to spring a couple characters in with a heroic intervention. Abaddon's going to step up to the plate. We're going to clear out some dudes, but you see he's back in it. We have about 30 cultists left. The Knight and Abaddon and 2 characters. That's all we have left. He still has 3 flyers, a wave serpent. Like, he's doing all right still, man. Like, he's actually completely in this fight. But the way my army plays is we rack it up turn 1. Turn 1, we got all 5 primary points, including the bonus. We got 3 secondaries, and every turn from the game on there, we got 4 primary points until about this moment where we're still getting like 2 primary points. Now we're going into turn 6, and there's nothing he can do. Like, I front loaded the game, put down 15, 20 points before turn 3 when he realized he misplayed with some target priority. In the rematch, I imagine it would go a different way. I got really lucky going first. The spearhead deployment is my nemesis though. This is one of many. Okay, Game 3 versus a fellow Chaos player. This is my man James right here. He's one of the top rated ITZ players for Chaos right now. He actually won this tournament. So he does defeat me. That is a spoiler. I'm set up on the line. Another spearhead deployment. Completely not what I want, because the spearhead deployment really makes it difficult to put eyes where I want to. No matter where I put one of these decimators, it's like he could always hide behind it. I hate this deployment. We go first. We do our normal thing. We get really aggressive. We try to touch these Noise Marines. He has about 160 bodies. Noise Marines, 30 Zangors, 60 Bloodletters, triple battalion, a couple of Demon Princes. He's got more bodies than me, and it's all close combat with one big shooting element. So I guess what we're trying to do here is touch the Noise Marines to keep them from shooting for a turn. But in retrospect, I probably just should have played like a KG bitch, just hide behind buildings and let him come out. Like, basically, it's just score points for a couple turns and let the knight, you know, pick up a unit here or there. So maybe I'm killing more and holding the same as him, and then let's have a big showdown on turn 3 or turn 4. I pushed the pace, got a little aggressive. That's a rookie mistake, and I paid for it. You can see that's the first 40 cultists who died, who came back to life, and now he's bringing down Bloodletters on all my flanks, making those 3d6 charges with all the CPs he spent pre-game, and we're about to have a showdown in the middle of the table, but I'm not in position like the way I want. I still have a chance, in my opinion. He's gonna have to crash into my 1 bubble wrap occultist who I've boosted up with a 5 up invulnerable. Look, here's a 3d6 charge, made it. But see, we're protecting ourselves here. We whittled down a few of these units, okay? That 5 up invulnerable holds on those cultists, but this is where I fuck up. My casual removal is a little janky. I'm trying to hold the objectives, but because I didn't remove casualties in a clean way, I actually locked myself in there. So I was in that combat for 2 turns. If I had pulled my casualties in a more clever way, I could have gotten out, and then the decimators would have been able to lay out what was left. Instead, we just barely got those Noise Marines, and all he really has left is 16 Bloodletters, 1 Demon Prince, a Sorcerer, and a Champion, right? We did really good. That knight's not going to survive, though. He's already weakened from all that fighting. If I had pulled my casualties right, was a little bit clever, had a little bit more foresight, I definitely could have backed out of that combat, and then my decimators, like I said, could have opened up on what was left of the demon stuff. It would have been different. Maybe I wouldn't have won. It was a close game up until he tabled me. Hey, them's the breaks. Shout out. Game 4, another ELDAR player, Jordan Stein. I think he's the 3rd ranked ITC ELDAR guy. There he is, another ELDAR Air Force. He has 7 flyers. He also has Dark ELDAR, so he's got Agents of Vex, so I'm never going to be able to use Tided Traders to bring cultists back to life. I know that going in, so I just spend those CPs on other things. Okay? So I get in his grill right out the gate. Turn 1, it's another spearhead fucking deployment, but I keep going first on these spearheads. So I was able to get in his grill, cover all these things, take out a Wave Serpent, Decimator step up, take down a flyer. The Knight puts wounds on another flyer. We're doing the same thing we did against Ray. We're doing our best. We're front loading the scorecard. We're getting 5 points. We're getting 3 secondaries. We're already at 8 points on turn 1. We're moving using terrain to our advantage with the decimators, but he kind of does a little bit of that thing too, where he kind of splits his fire up turn 1, like he's not sure. He starts working cultist over, and then he kind of switches to dealing with decimators, and he fails to kill a decimator on turn 1 when I think he should have just gone all in because he marked them for death. Okay, here is the glorious assault of all assaults. We whittled down this Wave Serpent. We got in combat with 8 Rangers with 2 different cultist squads. We barely tri-tipped a few guys so he couldn't escape from combat. And we put ourselves in a situation where we would be only throwing like 8 dice at a time. And we're just banking on luck. We're just trying to keep those Rangers alive. And for 2 full turns, we kept those Rangers alive. So he couldn't interact with these 2 big units of cultists that are stringing back to the middle over 2 objectives, and they're fearless because of Abaddon. The Knight gets back there. He's going to go after a Farseer. He's going to try to get that objective. So we're still scoring objectives, scoring more objectives, getting the bonus point, killing something. We're doing everything we need to be doing. He does take out the decimators finally. He decides, hey, all my fucking airplanes, kill those decimators. GG. Now it's time to kill the Knight. And this is that point of the game where I'm going to get tabled, right? My list needs to get all the points in the first part of the game and just survive. That's how we do it. So we're currently crushing him on points. And we're going to go into turn 5 here. We got those 2 squads of cultists, but I'm going to kill the Ranger this turn. So now he's only got to deal with a few units of cultists that are already whittled down. He's going to kill that Knight, And now we're going into 2 turns of him killing more, me holding more, and him getting secondaries, right? So what it comes down to is he has to table me. This is what he's realized, and I agreed with him. But here's the thing. We go to turn 6. Of course, 6-turn tournament. He wipes out all my cultists, and all I have left is 2 characters hiding under this building. He's going to move. This is his bottom of 6. He moves up, kills those 2 characters, tables me in the bottom of turn 6. Turns out, I got 1 more point than him. I still won the game. ITC says you get all your bonus points as you go in the rest of the turns after a tabling. He tabled me on turn 6. So I actually won that game 28-29. It was the closest game of 40K ever. Now let's backtrack real quick. We're playing round 5 versus the list. Knights, Blood Angels, Imperial Guard. Now, I got ahead of myself here, talking about Jordan Stein, big shout out here. Now this is one of the toughest lists in 40K right now. He's playing his own variation of it. He's got 2 knights instead of 1 big knight. He's got 1 slam captain and death company instead of multiple slam captains, but it's the same thing. This list is gonna out-efficient me in every way. I am doing my thing. It's another fucking spearhead deployment again. That really cripples my decimator's ability to get eyes on a knight out the gate. So we're giving up turns here of putting mortal wounds on knights. We are all over the table. We're tri-tipping scouts behind buildings because the scouts obviously zoned me out a little bit. But we're doing our thing. We're scoring more objectives. We're killing more models. We're getting our bonus points. We're getting a 5-point turn. Then we're getting like 2 secondaries. So we're still doing what we're supposed to be doing. The problem is that he put 1 knight into outflank, Sally 4th. And we did deal with the slam captain, and when it came in, we were able to get lucky there and kill him. But then the other knight shows up. He takes out my decimators, my only ability to interact with them. We are going to finish 1 knight. We're going to get Abaddon into the 2nd knight. He's going to do about 12 wounds before he goes down. We're going to forward operate into his, we're going to tie the traders into his backfield, but then the death company show up and they wipe out a 40-man unit of cultists like they didn't exist. So even though I front-loaded this game and I got a lot more points than him, going into the last 2 turns, he's robbed me of my ability to kill and hold more. So now for the rest of the game, he gets to hold more and kill more. He's going to squeak it out with just a few points. I'm going to lose that game, so I'm going to go 3-2. I usually don't lose 2 games at a tournament, but I got to hats off. Knights, Blood Angels, and IG. It's really hard. I felt like I put up a good fight. I feel like any other deployment map, I would have been better. If you give me a goddamn straight across or Dawn of War, man. Dawn of War, man, I love that map. But robbing my decimators of all this, all the lines of shot, like it is too much. So I lost that fight. I think I could have won that fight. I'm not sure my list actually can beat James's chaos list. I think I'm going to lose that fight every time with my current list. Takeaways, and we knew this going in, on Patreon, we have a Tactics weekly live Facebook secret group. And I did mention last week that the knight is kind of a trap for my chaos list. I'm playing him because he's beautiful. We put so much time into painting him and making him. But at the end of the day, my list is better with just like 1,000 Sun Supreme Command attachment instead of the knight. Anything but the knight. So I think I lose to James every time. I think I could have beat the last round opponent. We had an incredible strength of schedule. I think we had the highest strength of schedule at the tournament. James won the tournament. My last round opponent got like 3rd place. Now let me talk about the game, the closest game of 40K against Jordan Stein. He was a great dude. It was fun times. We didn't know how that. We actually had to call the judges over to figure out how to score it because it's a 6-turn game. He tabled me in the bottom of turn 6, and the only bonus you get for tabling your opponent is you max out all your games for the rest of the game, all your turns for the rest of the game, whatever is legally possible. So no, if you table me on turn 3, you're gonna get 4 points, 4 points, 4 points on primaries, and whatever you can actually get on your secondaries. So he killed me in the last turn. I was like, okay, I guess you win. He's like, maybe. And we looked it up. He's like, well, actually, I just get bonus points for the rest of the game. And I was like, well, the game's over. He's like, yeah. Well, what's the score? 28-29. We asked a couple judges just to confirm. Took him to the bar, bought him a bunch of drinks, and made a new friend. So big shout out to Jordan Stein. All my opponents were great people. The Dicehammer GT crushed it. It was at a bowling alley, which seems weird, but let me tell you what. It's the best. Cheap drinks, good food, private room, air conditioned, exterior exit. It was amazing. I do have a new list, like I just talked about. The 1,000 Sun Supreme Command. probably is not going to be what I replace the knight with because of the new FAQ that's on the horizon. I'm pretty sure Demon Prince is going to be 0 to 1 per detachment. So I do have a new battalion I'm inserting in. I'm going to be bringing Ermon, a Demon Prince, a couple of cultists, and 30 Zangors. So I'm going to be up to that 150, 160 model count. We're going to have some amazing tricks up these sleeves. If you want to hear me break it down, I'll be breaking it down on Wednesday live on Facebook. Play on, players. If you like these tutorials, check out Next Level Painting on Patreon. Become a patron of the arts today. We offer early and exclusive access to our videos and a rewards program for different pledge levels. Patreon is PayPal and credit card secure, so you don't have to worry about that. We use 100% of the money to improve our process.